Welcome back to Missouri River Bottom for episode 19. I'm BP, and it's August, the beginning of year 3 on the farm. Last episode, we planted the soybeans, purchased Field 13, and found a Colossus 6000 Forage Harvester in the sale. This episode, we start producing fabric from our wool, chop our new cornfield for chaff, and get some dairy cows. We are in year 3, guys, and it has been an exciting journey to get here. I'm excited for what our plans are in year 3, increasing our productions, adding productions, growing our farm. It's going to be a really exciting year here on Missouri River Bottom. To get started, we did pick up a contract. We're on Field 15 plowing. Wanted to get the case quad track up and running on that contract and just let him work away in the background. It's a pretty big field, and the contract is worth $290,000. So that's going to help fund some of our activities for today. So while he's working there, why don't we, why don't we talk about some changes we're going to make and adding productions to our farm. So let's jump into the TLX. All right, here we go. Let's get turned on, disconnected. Actually, you know what? While we're doing this, I had a thought. The production we're going to be putting in today is a wool production. It is an all-in-one. It takes wool and cotton, makes fabric, and then turns it into clothes. So I'm excited to add it onto the farm. So why don't we start by getting some wool to add to our new production when we put it in, and that we will be all set when that is ready to go. We do have the soybeans in our field. They are growing in nicely, as you guys can see. Just soybeans as far as the eye can see, which is exactly what we wanted. So let's grab some wool. Start by putting 25 pallets on. I think it's going to be... Oh, we got some all around. We definitely don't want it in the truck. Let's get it on the trailer here, guys. Okay, we got a couple. Let's see about pulling up a little bit. We used to pull further over, but we put that field all the way out to the edge, so not quite as much room as there used to be for picking up pallets, but that is all right. I'd rather have the fields. All right. We might be too close to these to have them work. So let's grab those, pull those off. Why don't we jump back in here? I've got an idea. Let's release the strap on the truck. See if we can carefully pull that out. Sometimes you grab those out of the back of the truck and they just end up yanking the whole truck over. So, well, maybe that's all the wool we get for this round. We'll have to see. Sometimes autoload can be a little bit finicky. We'll circle back and just see if we can get one more set in here. Don't drive on our new soybean field. Which side are we unloading on? Left side? Let's make that the right side. Yeah, it's just not unloading. It's unhappy right now. Alright, not a big deal. We'll grab some more later. There's plenty to be brought over. We'll just toss these on the back and we'll head down to our new production site that I've found between episodes. Okay, so here we are. So a couple of quick updates on our drive down there. I released a first impression video on the realistic livestock mod by Arrow today. We'd mentioned it in a previous episode. Very excited for the mod. You guys should definitely check out that first impression video. I'll put a link down in the description below and maybe even have it pop up on screen for you guys. I just spent 15-20 minutes running through the mod, just trying to figure out what it's about. It is incredible. Absolutely amazing. I actually did the video on this map, and in the end, I'm very excited to play with it, but I think we have too many animals on this map to have it make sense to bring it in this late in the game. It actually creates unique and individual IDs for each animal. So we had, you know, 450 sheep in the menu, 400 individual cows in the menu. The health and fertility and weight and metabolism scores that they have were just amazing stuff. And I really want to dive into it, but I want to start on a smaller farm with that, where we're really picking high quality animals for their genealogy and for their history and their lineage, and building a really successful cattle farm from that. Interestingly, Aero also has out that realistic weather mod we talked about the other day as well. And I was thinking today while I was doing the first impression video, that might make a really good sort of survival challenge series with a cow farm. Is go in there, start with a couple of animals, really manage the quality of the animals we have, do a survival series out in the woods, have some real significant weather events and issues we have to get through, and sort of make it a, in quotes, realistic survival challenge based on those two mods controlling the majority of the gameplay. So maybe we'll bring it in there, but we're not going to bring it in on this gameplay. I just think it's too much to start with now, and it would take hours and hours of managing and selling off the weaker animals and getting better animals, and that not only is just not very interesting to me at this point, but I don't think it makes for good videos either. But we are here at our production site. So this sort of little mini I don't know, way station between the store and the shop and the farms. We own this land along the road, and we owned this building, this shed. We do own the 4 bins, but more importantly, we own this big open shed, and I'm thinking we're going to turn this into our production site. So we're going to start by adding the wool production today, and then we will eventually, I suspect, put a dairy production on there as well. So let's go ahead and get this sold. We don't want that shed. We'll have someone come down and take it apart and take it and put it on their farm the way they want to use it. And the wool production we're using is a funny mod I just learned about the other day. It's called Granny's Knitwear, and it does everything. And it's a sort of cute little cabin house situation. And I think it's going to be a great addition to what we're doing on the farm here. So let's get situated. I'm trying to get squared up to the road, and it looks like the road may not quite be squared up. So I think we want the production over here. So let's get that going, and then let's landscape that in. So we're going to need a gravel path that runs through the trigger. So that'll be right here. We'll bring that out. We're going to want access from the road. So say angle it in here. And then I think we probably want some kind of little walkway maybe. Maybe we'll do some cobblestones around the actual property, around the actual building. Make that sort of nice. Pull through there, go back to the gravel. And I'm thinking we're going to want to put a loop in and give ourselves the room to run up and do this kind of thing. So maybe we come in here and we swing this just back into here for now and give it the ability to get the trailer lined up and go from there. So I think that's going to be a good start. It leaves us this whole grass area over here for the milk production. I have a couple in mind, but they are both larger, so we're going to want more space for those. Are we having, is it giving me a hard time with the building sitting in here? Yeah, it's a little bit of a depression. Not bad. That corner isn't too bad at all. So we'll leave that there. Again, we'll come back in here. Want to throw a little bit of landscaping in, you know, something to make this a little bit more substantial, like it's been here for a while. That might be a little small for what we're looking for. One of those, something, want to sort of frame the front of the building a little bit. Want something smaller. These are all way too big. What do we have up here? $140. That's good. That'll give us a good frame there. Excellent. Let's put a couple of these in. I've enjoyed these bushes. In the spring, they have nice red berries or flowers on them there. We have a couple on the farm in a couple different spots. All right, so that's good. We'll come back through here, take this cobblestone path, and let's make it just a little bigger. And let's have a little path that winds around down to the road. Maybe put in one more tree. Do we have anything smaller than that? It doesn't look like it. Maybe we'll have to get some trees downloaded. These are all pretty large. Put one right there. And maybe we'll do a couple of small, low shrubs to help fill it out. All right, I think that is a good start to the production. Let's go take a look at that. Yeah, I like that quite a bit. That is going to work very, very well. We have our little walkway back up here, already running. Love this, making some noise. So let's get back in here. Let's see about putting on an auto drive course so we can just start running the wool down here with the F450, because we are going to have a lot of it. Like I told you guys previously, I'm emptying that spawn point multiple times a day. So how do we want to generate this course? I'm thinking maybe we'll come off this curve a little bit right in here. We are going to make it a secondary course. We don't want anyone choosing to drive on it unnecessarily. Let's go ahead and get that connected. Maybe bring that over a little bit from right there. That'll work perfectly. All right, and we are here. One more node. Come on, you can do it. All right, so we'll call that one P for production, and this is wool. What should we call it? Probably fabric and clothes, because it's not producing wool, it's producing fabric and clothes. So then we take this one, make sure we swing all the way out, bring it back. Okay, I think that is going to pretty much do it. Give that an exit. And I do think that we should probably create a secondary course here just in case. So now if we set this to drive to production, fabric, and clothes, let's see if it'll hit it or if it's gonna... No, it's getting all the other courses. I do wish Courseplay would look beyond the first course that it finds, because frequently the course that it needs is just past where it's looking, and it just isn't quite finding it. I think we're a bit far for that trigger, so maybe we back up a little bit. Oh, pull up, get the wheel straightened out. I think right about there is going to be good. So let's move this guy to right there. We'll unload. Let's see how that's working. Are the pallets disappearing, or do they need to be unloaded manually? Let's take a look. Maybe I misread which side of that the trigger was on. Maybe that's the output. Is there an input? There's the controls. Ah, we have the building facing the wrong way. So let's pop back in here. Put this here. Turn them off real quick. Not a big deal. I guess I just thought the building would face the other way. So we do have the move mod installed. I've not had much luck with that. Maybe leave me a comment down below if that's something that you guys use and use successfully. I've seen other guys use it and just have a ton of success. They can shift things, they can move things, but to me it just ends up feeling like it just feels like things don't ever end up where they're supposed to be. So okay, so right in here in front, that is oddly uneven. So let's smooth everything out first. Maybe come to this side where we can see a little better. Okay, let's make a nice level spot. Okay, we'll go back, grab our production. Should be right here. Make sure that front trigger is right there. Excellent. So we have the drop point there. We will smooth everything out all around the outside. We'll put in a second loop behind it for pickup for later, so we don't forget that when we go to put the other productions in over here. So we do want this to be relatively parallel, at least for a while. We're going to need a pretty straight take on that, and then we'll bring this over here. That'll get shaved down like that. This will loop back in here and probably cut back on that corner a little bit. We're going to be using a lot of these little trees here. Get this landscaped in. And we'll grab a couple of those low shrubs we liked from before. Make it a little smaller on this side. And one last time come through here and just smooth everything out. I guess we need cobblestones in here. Maybe we make this the parking lot area, so it'll actually be cobblestones from all the way over here, up and across. Yeah, there we go. Nice and easy. All right, so there's a little parking spot for everybody. That looks good. Okay, so now we have to put in... Actually, we don't. We can just send it because we flipped the building around. So, yeah, it worked out well. We end up with a little parking lot we weren't planning on, but looks good. We'll walk way up. Swing that hard corner. And we should be pretty close to right in front of it. Alright, so now... do we have to... I wonder if this is like a... or if this is like the sawmill and you have to come up here and... well, let's see. Manage production point. Well, it has no wool. So, do we have to manually put it in? What is the expectation here, guys? Okay, so it's just maybe a little lower. And it's sort of underneath the trailer right now. I think the tip point is not very high. That may be causing some challenges. May have to swing over. Seems like it's a bit finicky, but we can get to it. Yeah, the trailer might just be too high. Two more. Alright, so what we might do here real quick is back this guy up and adjust the course and have it come out a little bit. So let's see. Get him out of the way. So from here, we really want this node coming this way. This one coming all the way out. This one coming all the way out. And then we would jump into the construction menu. Try to get an overhead view where we can sort of see what's going on here. Yeah, so I think we come in with gravel and just shave that out a little bit. And I think we move this even further so it lines up, and then we want to get, yeah, I think that is the way to go. So we come up here and we just unload on the left-hand side and then be set, so not a big deal. All right, excellent. So let's send him back to the farm. That is our first production. Heading out. Let's go ahead and turn the triggers back off. We don't need to see those. All right, and so our first production, we have 17,000 wool in there. I think we're going to do clothes from... So we can do clothes directly from wool. That is really interesting. So it's not wool to fabric to clothes. It's just wool straight to clothes. That's really interesting. Okay, well, excited to give that a try. Let's crank the production up because we have a whole bunch of wool we can get delivered over here, and then we'll have some clothes to sell. All right, so that was excellent. Let's head back and check on the quad track real quick, check on its progress, and see how much longer we have here, because we've got, I want to get the straw or the corn chopped in field 13 before we go. And then we got to pick up some dairy cows, so I want to do that tomorrow too once we have the chaff so we can start making some silage. So let's go check on the quad track. I'll see you guys over there. Well, the quad track is doing great. 81% done. Been chipping away at this field in the background, making it all work. So that is going very, very well. We'll let him finish up, and I think what we'll do is we'll grab some dairy cows real quick and bring them back to the farm, and then tomorrow we'll work through chopping up that corn and making some silage. And then, guys, I have to say I've been watching field 29, which is carrots, may be ready to harvest tomorrow, and if it comes up on a contract, we may have a special 2nd September episode, just doing some crazy stuff, getting the carrots done just for the fun of doing it. It'd be a blast to get out some big root crop harvesters and probably pull, I don't know, 6-8 million liters of carrots off that field. You know, it's 194 acres. So yeah, it would be insane to do that contract. So we might have a special episode, sort of a fun episode in there in the middle, just to go in and get that stuff done. We'll see if that contract pops up for us or not. Head into the TLX. Let's go pick up our animal trailer, which, if you guys remember a couple episodes ago, we switched its parking spot up to the sheep pen. So it is up here. Get connected. Yeah, we already have 2 new pallets of wool after I emptied it this morning before starting the episode. So we are definitely in the wool business and soon to be in the clothing business. I guess that makes us a clothier So I'd rather just be a farmer, but it is what it is. So the other thing I want to give you guys a quick update about on the way down to the shop, I did try, there was a new mod on the mod hub, it may come out yesterday, may come out today, called the Supply and Transport mod, which I was really excited about. Basically, it gives you an opportunity to fulfill delivery contracts. Somebody wants, you know, 60,000 liters of corn, or, you know, they want some bagged spinach, or anything from production, you know, some buffalo mozzarella. And if you have that stuff on your farm, you can pick up those contracts, and within a reasonable amount of time that the contracts are timed, you can deliver those goods and make, theoretically, more money than you would just selling the goods. So I was excited for that. I thought it'd be a good, you know, role play opportunity for us, sort of some game enrichment, give us an opportunity, something different. So I installed it and was playing around with it, and I'll put some visuals up on screen. But the first contract I came across was to deliver 58,000 liters of Steinschaft, our sheep, to the bale sales. And it was worth like $260 million. So, of course, I had to try it, see if I could actually deliver sheep to the bale sales and make $250 million, or $250 billion, sorry. And I gave it a whirl, and not only did it not work, which is what I was expecting, but it also, we were responsible for the goods, which were the sheep. So when I canceled the contract, and I'll put another image up on screen, we were then penalized negative $69 million. So we went from making over $250 million for one contract to being negative, I think it was $68 million after failing the contract, which we couldn't complete. Obviously, I wasn't going to do that contract and keep that money, but I was disappointed because I really thought the mod would be fun to use. But when things are broken like that, and it's asking you to take animals to a sell point for just an absorbent amount of money, and I don't even know what 58,000 liters of sheep looks like. I don't know if that's 58 animals, 58,000 animals. I don't know how many liters a sheep is. So I did uninstall the mod. I was disappointed because I really thought it was going to be a lot of fun and going to be a great add-on to the gameplay. So hopefully they make an update and get some things fixed. But for right now, it's not in the rotation for mods for me, because I just can't have things that don't work. And yeah, we could certainly ignore it and just pick the contracts we want, but you know, try to support modders who put out mods that really work and are well thought out. And nothing against the modder. Maybe it's a conflict with the mod I have, but just not willing to take on and put something on my system that potentially affects the performance of the game and adds, you know, a layer that is just something we're never going to use. So I saw that. I want to share it with you guys. I was excited to try to bring it to you guys and add it to our contracting income. So I'll keep an eye on it, and if you guys do see it does get an update, or you do know why it was acting that way, or even perhaps if you know what 58,000 liters of sheep are, just let me know. Leave me a comment down below, and we'll go from there. So, all right, we're at the animal dealer. How many? I think I want Holstein, not Brown Swiss, because we have the limousines, and certainly the limousines and the Brown Swiss look different, but I think the Holsteins, totally different animal, totally different color. And what is $50,000? $50,000 gets us 43. So maybe we take that up. How many? So 100 would be 80 odd. It's gonna be more than that. 100 animals is gonna be, man, that is a lot of cows. I think 100's too many, guys. We got to get. We don't have any chaff. We don't have any silage. We don't have any of that stuff. So let's start with 50. I think that's going to be a better number. 58,000. I feel comfortable with that. Grab those. Okay, so they are in the trailer. So we'll drive those back. We'll get those put in. And then as soon as that plowing contract's done, we're going to progress to September. And we'll check for that carrot contract. We won't do it in this episode. There may be a special carrot harvesting contract for you guys coming out, depending if that one pops up as a contract or not. But we will go ahead and chop the corn in field 13 and get that done. That'll likely just be getting it set up. I would love to time-lapse that. We've not done any forage harvesting on this map in this series yet, so maybe we'll do a quick time-lapse on that and get that in, and then we will come back in the next episode, still in September, and be making chaff and, or I'm sorry, making silage and getting some TMR for our dairy cows. I think we're just going to have to end up feeding all of our animals either silage, all of our cows, either silage or TMR. It's going to require us to make quite a bit of it. But right now, I was looking at the cows we have, and they're maturing and growing fine, but their health is really low despite having meadow grass, despite having that meadow grass for months without any interruption. Yeah, their health is like 6%. So we're just not getting what we need out of that meadow grass at all. We knew we had problems with the expandable pastures on this map to begin with, and it's been fine for the first couple of years while the animals grow, but we're looking to increase the quality of the animals so we can sell the beef cattle. We want our cows. Yep, we blew that stop sign. Foot's been on the brake for like 8 seconds now. Couple of cattle in the back, and this thing gets just real heavy. Check our mirrors. All right, we're back. But we want to get the quality of our cattle up so we get good beef cattle out of it, and also get, you know, good milk production heading into year 3 here. So we'll figure that out next episode. But for right now, yep, the contract's done. I'm going to go drop off these cattle, and then I will see you guys in September for our first corn chopping. We are in September, guys, and we have some corn to chop. So I got the new Colossus Forage Harvester prepped and ready to go. That's one of our latest vehicles. We have one of our first vehicles back out working again, our Western Star dump truck. It's been sort of in semi-retirement because it doesn't fit into the silo dump enclosure that we have. But I think it's going to work great for this project. But before we get started, 2 quick items of business. One, I made a overnight purchase. I picked up this International stake body lift gate truck. It looks great. I'm sorry, Freightliner, not International. And we're going to use this to move our wool back and forth to production. I just want to show you guys real quick. It has the full lift gate on the back. It's just, it goes up, it goes down. I'm wondering if the sides come down too. I have to look at the controls. So, but anyways, it's a really, really cool truck. It was on sale for, I think, $12,000 when we painted it, did a couple other options. It bumped it up to like $15,000 just to run some wool back and forth. I think it's going to be absolutely perfect, so I am excited about that. We can just park it right here, and every time the wool spawn gets full, we load the truck, and when the truck is full, it goes down to the production, which leads us to our storage shed. This area of our farm is constantly under renovation and change, but if we're not going to be storing wool for the best sell point, we may be storing clothes, but I don't think we'll bring them back here. I think it's time to get rid of this shed. So I'm thinking what we'll do in preparation for the cows and the chaff and everything else is actually try that shed we had, I'm sorry, that silo we had initially, that we were having all the problems with the triggers and everything else. So we have that version, and do we have the other version in here still, or is it just up here is the modded version? So we don't have enough money. That is not a problem because we have a contract to collect for plowing from yesterday, $290,000. Go ahead and get that collected. I have been keeping an eye on the contracts. We do have a carrot harvesting contract on field 38, but that is not field 29, not the one we want. I am keeping an eye out for that contract. Field 29 is ready to harvest. It is good to go. We just need it to pop up in the harvesting contracts, and it hasn't yet. So anyways, back to our construction. We're going to grab this. We're going to try this mod again. We had a bunch of problems with the triggers, which we're still having down at the other end of the map. I might actually, here's a trick for you guys. When you're placing stuff like this and you have an existing auto drive network, jump in a vehicle nearby and then go into the construction menu, and it will keep your auto drive courses up. So I already have this secondary course here going to a waypoint, so I can actually just get this to play well with the auto drive course we already have and be in really good shape. So let's put that right there. We'll do some real quick landscaping. Excuse me, guys. And we'll get this knocked out, maybe put in a couple of trees. You know how it is. We have to have things looking good on the farm. We want to enjoy the area we're playing in. So we have that all done. Jump back over, give it a little bit of grass. Let's pop that brush size up just a little bit. Have to get a little bit of grass back in here around the outside edge. And then let's see, a couple of trees. That one might be just too big for the space we have. I don't like it when they clip and run into each other. That's actually not a bad one at all. Low. That's pretty nice. That's going to be too much. That's not the right kind of tree for this map. We are constantly stuck with these. Whatever this is, the old beech tree. We seem to be doing a lot of those, but that seems to be the one that fits best in our spaces. So come down here, find a couple of shrubs to put in. All right. Let's see how that looks real quick. Turn off the auto drive network. Jump out. Not bad at all. So the question is, how are we going to get this guy set up? So let's run this waypoint here. We'll call this one Field 23. And then we got to jump over here, and I just got to make sure that he can get back here from the new silo, because that's where we're going to be putting the chaff in. It looks a little bit like this course doesn't go anywhere anymore, so let's get rid of that one. Turned around here. I think what we want to do is connect this waypoint to that waypoint, and then they'll be able to loop. He'll come out over there, he'll loop around, and he will go from there. So I think at this stage we need to change the name of this marker, because it's no longer pallet storage, and maybe move it a little bit closer. Let's see, not a lot, just a little bit. Come down here. Gonna put that as pallet storage. We'll change the name to, we're back to having a production silo on the farm. Alright, rename. Excellent. And he can drive out here. So I'd like to have this entire, yep, he'll be able to pop out. I'd like to have this entire harvest automated, because I think this guy's gonna fill up several times during the harvest with chaff, and I want him just to be able to run back and take care of himself. So I think I've done this successfully about one other time. Let's jump into the cab view and fire this bad boy up. Excited for this new piece of equipment on the farm. We have the 9-meter chopper header unfolding. That is very, very cool. So, oh, I got guards and everything. We need to unfold the harvester. Yep, get that high aerial view. And we need to unfold the pipe. There we go. Excellent. Will this... Alright, so this will turn on. Alright, so that is set up there. I did not remember to fill it with silage additives, so we're just going to do that real quick. I'll have to buy some of that for next time. Okay, so he's set there. We're going to go ahead and set his course. And we have not run this machine yet, so we want this to run at 20. Let's go 21. Driving on the field can be 22, 23. Turns, we want that at 13. Reversing, we're going to actually put that a little lower so it gives the truck time to get out of the way. We want to raise and lower late and early. We want to return to starting point. We want to... Actually, we don't want to pause while we unload, right? Because it's going to be harvesting on the fly. So, in regards to the actual field work, 1 tool, number of headlands, I'm thinking 3. Just to make sure. 3 to give us enough working room. Let's try 4. No, we'll do rounded corners the first time on the first pass to give it room to get through. I will go back and harvest the rest later by hand if need be. Generate this course. It's going to be relatively complicated. So let's see how it does. There we go. It is going to be a lot of passes. I'm glad we did 4 headlands. So go ahead and start the job up. It won't run anymore because it is currently full, which is fine. I did forget I do want to jump in here and actually save this. So this is going to be, we need a new field. Call this our new folder, new folder called chop, save course. This is going to be field 13. All right, so that is good to go. So that part is set. Now this is always the part that I struggle with. So we come in here and got to get on the field enough. We'll let it run for just a second so we have room to get on the field. Give it a chance to recognize it. Yeah, it's going to be... Okay, excellent. So that's doing what we want it to do. Let's jump into the menu, make sure it recognizes which field it's on. Yeah, it thinks it's on the other field, so that's not going to work. Field position, we need it over here. That's better. Giants Unloader activated. Do we have BP multi-silo farm production? Okay. I've never used this feature before, so we're gonna... It's gonna be... Giants Unloader is unavailable, of course. Why would it be available? Alright, so we're gonna start the job. Let it figure out what it's gonna do, and then over here, we're going to fill at field 13. Oh, I didn't label it as field 13. What did I label it as? Let's see. Field 23. Yeah, I mislabeled that one. I really want this one to be field 23. It just isn't. It's field 13. We're going to empty at the farm production silo, and we are working with chaff. So go ahead and get started. And then once that's going, we'll switch on the course play. And guys, I don't know what to tell you, but that is working. An utter shock. So assuming this continues to work, guys, I'm going to put this on a time lapse for you. And we will see you guys at the end. we are on our last little bit of the corn chopping. Guys, I gotta say it's gone much better than I expected. Certainly had some hiccups, had to save the truck a couple of times, had to get things back on track. We'll have to do a little bit of cleanup off camera, but overall this went really, really well. It's been a little odd, this outside edge. The truck keeps switching sides at the end. I think that's causing some of the problems, but we got a ton of chopped corn off this field. We have, I believe, let's see, in the silo we must have had 6 million liters put in so far. We have another 200,000 in the truck, plus whatever odds and ends we end up with. We are wrapping up here in the rain. Not a big deal. So, great episode again, got a lot done. We have our 50 new dairy cows that are doing well. We'll jump in and check on them. Their health is heading up. They're going to have some mixed ration here. Next episode coming out of the new silo. We got the new production put in for the wool, which is producing clothes. And it looks like we have already 4,000 liters of clothes at their maximum price of $10,964 per liter. That's $47,000 worth of clothes. So we are going to be producing clothes and making quite a bit of money. So good episode, got a lot done. Excited to have the Forage Harvester on the farm and have, you know, the truck working again. We may end up going with a trailer on this one next time. But for right now, that worked out really well. So we'll call it an episode there. Thanks so much for joining me. Don't forget to drop a like and turn on notifications for more videos. And we'll see you in the next one.